Today I found myself in the Woodland Cemetery in Des Moines, Iowa. It's my first time in Iowa or Des Moines or anywhere for that matter in this area. And as you can see, fall has come to the cemeteries. This is one of my favorite times of year when the leaves start turning and the cemeteries just become that much more beautiful. This cemetery is actually quite large. I am going to be here for quite a while. So join me as we walk amongst the stones. things I really like about this cemetery, and one of them is how clean it is. It's pretty clean. I've seen workers meandering about cleaning up. There's a lot of grave restoration, stone restoration that I find very heartening, that this place is taking care of the graves as well as they do. But two things I want to mention. This is one of the first time I've seen mausoleums, many mausoleums so far in this cemetery, that have the doors walled up. Generally, you'll see a door, a gate, something that will allow you to enter in and out. A lot of these are shut up. They're walled in. There's no getting in. There's no getting out. So I find that very interesting. The next thing I find very interesting and cool, and I wish more places did this, is you see right here, this QR code. I've seen a bunch of them on various graves, on mausoleums, and if you scan those QR codes, they have been leading me to videos and information about the people buried there, which I find fascinating. I absolutely love that. It's the first time I've ever seen something that extensive. I've been to a couple cemeteries like the Elmwood in Memphis that has like an audio tour you can go on, gives you a lot of information and history, but this is the first time that I've seen like QR codes in action in a cemetery, going to well-produced videos and information about the people that are buried here. I wish I had more time to like literally go around and scan and watch every single one of them, but oh well. Hopefully I can find links to all of this information. I'll put it in the video description, but definitely a really good idea that I wish more places took advantage of. of the spots I noticed when I came in here is this wall of mausoleums. Some of them walled off, like I mentioned before. Some of them still have their gates up. But right next to it is the city receiving vault. If you don't know what a receiving vault is, they're not so much used today, especially not in this capacity, like big stone building. But back in the day, during the winter time, the ground would freeze and it would become way too hard to dig graves because they were digging them by hand with shovels and picks. And so the receiving vault was used as storage of bodies until the ground thawed and they were able to dig graves properly and place people in their final resting place. I've been to a few places that have receiving vaults much like this one. One, if you're a Tapophile member, there's an extra video for Tapophiles of a receiving vault I went to not too long ago. And I find it really interesting when I see these things kind of in the wild, in cemeteries, because of the history of kind of the burial practices here and all that kind of stuff. Not every location I go to would have something like that because the temperatures never drop that low. But where I'm at right now, winters can be harsh. So I was excited to see this one. It's really cool. Anyway, time to get back on the road, guys. Unfortunately, as gigantic as this cemetery is, I did not have a whole lot of time to spend here. I've got a lot more traveling to do, a lot more cemeteries to hit. So remember, when you're out on the road, wandering amongst the stones, remember to be safe, be respectful, and I'll see you on the next one. I don't often get to research the history of the places I go to when I'm just traveling on the road and randomly coming across cemeteries. But this time I did have a little bit of a chance to take a look at the history of this cemetery. It's one of the oldest, it is the oldest cemetery in Des Moines, dating back hundreds of years. And because of that long history, there are a couple things I wanted to point out. There was an instance of grave robbing here way back in the day. Someone dug somebody else up. I don't even understand that kind of thinking, but grave robbing has happened here, as well as apparently there's been 2 murders on the grounds of the cemetery themselves. The last one being in 2006, I believe, which kind of blows my mind as well. And of course, because of those things, there are stories of ghosts, apparitions, orbs, glowing stones, that kind of thing in the cemetery. And I would just ask that anybody who sees or hears those stories and decides they want to come out here and investigate that, just be respectful. Be respectful anytime you are on hallowed ground such as this. Remember, these are people's loved ones buried here, and being respectful is our #1 priority.